Good evening once again and welcome to UBC News Tonight. My name is Sharon Chondisha and thank you so much for watching today on the 8th of February 2025. We'll take a look at our top stories of the day. In UBC News Tonight, United Democratic Alliance Party visits Uganda, promises to foster stronger relations with NRM Party. Bodies of 14 South Africans, 2 Malawians and 2 Tanzanians returned from DRC to Mlabo. Hundreds participate in skill development initiatives at Kigezi Presidential Skilling Hub. And still to come, Minister Balam promotes eye care in Uganda while visiting free clinic. In UBC News Tonight, heads of state from the East African Community and the South African Development Community convened in the Dar es Salaam this Saturday to address the escalating security crisis in Eastern Congo. Co-chaired by Kenyan President William Samoei Ruto and Zimbabwean President Emmerson Mnangagwa, the summit brought together leaders from Tanzania, the DRC, South Africa, Somalia, Rwanda, Uganda, Zambia, and other nations to condemn violence, call for an immediate ceasefire and outline a coordinated strategy to restore stability in the troubled region.
Today, we join together in order to reiterate our calls to the parties to this tragic conflict to immediately cease hostilities and take positive action to allow meaningful dialogue aimed at restoration of stability. Specifically, we stand together to call on all parties to actualize the ceasefire, and specifically on the M23 to hold further advancement and the armed forces of DRC to cease all retaliatory measures. An immediate ceasefire is the only way by which we can create necessary conditions for constructive dialogue and implementation of a comprehensive peace agreement. As members of the African Union and United Nations, we stand bound by fundamental principles of respect for the territorial integrity and sovereignty of nations.
Regional leaders, history will judge us harshly if we remain still and watch the situation worsen day by day. And in line with the principle of African solutions for Africa's problems, our countries have a collective responsibility to ensure we urgently address the existing security challenges that have heavily impacted the well-being of innocent civilians. This joint summit meeting presents an opportunity to recommit our collective efforts in addressing the conflicts and reaffirm our sustainable peace and stability in the entire EAC and SADC regions.
On behalf of SADC, the government of the Republic of Zimbabwe, and indeed on my own behalf, to once again convey heartfelt condolences and deepest sympathies to the member states and families of the brave peacekeepers who lost their lives in the service of the people of DRC and indeed the cause of peace. We also recognize the loss of civilian lives and livelihoods that has resulted from the increased insecurity and insurgency in eastern DRC.
The joint communique, which was issued following the summit, reiterated the urgent need for an immediate and unconditional ceasefire in the eastern part of DRC. The leaders stressed the importance of restoring essential utilities and supply lines to support humanitarian efforts, particularly to ensure that food and other critical commodities reach affected communities. The communique was read by the East African Secretary General Veronica Ndova.
The joint summit expressed concern on the deteriorating security situation in the eastern DRC, which has resulted in the loss of lives, creating a humanitarian crisis as well as suffering of people, in particular women and children. The joint summit also expressed condolences for the loss of lives in the recent attacks and also wished a speedy recovery to the injured. The joint summit also expressed concern about the escalating crisis manifesting in attacks on diplomatic missions, embassies and staff based in Kinshasa, and urged the government of DRC to protect lives and property. The joint summit recollected that both the EAC and SADC summits had, upon deliberating on the security situation in eastern DRC, called for a cessation of hostilities and immediate ceasefire, B, restoration of essential utilities and supply lines for food and other essential commodities to ensure humanitarian support, and peaceful resolution of the conflict through the Luanda and Nairobi processes. The joint summit considered the report of the joint meeting of ministers of EAC and SADC on the security situation in eastern DRC and emphasized that political and diplomatic engagement is the most sustainable solution to the conflict in the eastern DRC. The joint summit directed the EAC and SADC chiefs of defense forces to meet within 5 days and provide technical direction on immediate and unconditional ceasefire and cessation of hostilities, the provision of humanitarian assistance, including repatriation of the deceased and evacuation of the injured. C, develop a securitization plan for Goma and surrounding areas. Opening of the main supply routes, including Goma-Sake-Bukavu, Goma-Kibumba, Rumagambo, Kalegera, Ruchuru, Bunagana, and Goma, Kiwanja, Rindi, Kanyabanyonga, Lubero, including navigation on Lake Kivu between Goma and Bukavu. E, immediate reopening of Goma Airport. And F, advise on other related facilitative interventions. The joint summit reaffirmed the official role of both the Luanda and the Nairobi processes and directed that the two be merged into a Nairobi-Luanda process. The joint summit further resolved to strengthen the two processes to enhance complementarity and mandated the co-chairs in consultation with the African Union to consider and appoint additional facilitators, including from other regions of Africa, to support the merge process. The joint summit directed resumption of direct negotiations and dialogue with all state and non-state parties, military and non-military, including the M23, and under the framework of the Luanda-Nairobi process. The joint summit called for the implementation of the concept of operations, CONOPS, of the harmonized plan for the neutralization of FDLR and the lifting of Rwanda's defensive measures and disengagement of forces from DRC as agreed in the Luanda process. The joint summit directed that a joint meeting of ministers of EAC and SADC convenes within 30 days to deliberate on the report of the joint meeting of the Chiefs of Defense Forces on the ceasefire and the cessation of hostilities, the establishment of secretariat-level technical coordination mechanism to monitor the implementation of the joint summit decisions, and an elaborate roadmap detailing immediate, medium, and long-term implementation measures, including financing modalities, and address all other residual issues relating to the attainment of sustainable peace and security in Eastern DRC, and make appropriate recommendations to the next joint meeting of the EAC-SADC summit. The joint summit directed that the modalities for withdrawal of uninvited foreign armed forces from the territory of the DRC be developed and implemented.
Delegates, as you can see from the
In more stories, bodies of 18 soldiers from the Southern African Development Community Mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo have been brought to Malago mortuary for post-mortem ahead of their planned repatriation to their home countries. The deceased include 14 South Africans, 2 Malawians and 2 Tanzanians.
It was a somber moment at Malago National Referral Hospital as bodies of the Southern African Development Corporation soldiers killed during the fighting in Goma were brought in for post-mortem examinations. They were escorted into the country by the UPDF and transported to the hospital in Kampala. The bodies arrived at the Rubavu border yesterday at midday before being cleared for their onward journey into Uganda. Sources indicate that the post-mortem examinations on all the 18 bodies are expected to take several more days, potentially delaying the repatriation process. Officials from the respective countries were not available for a comment. In a related development, 71 military personnel were also repatriated and transported to the United Nations camp base in Entebbe. At a joint summit in Tanzania between the East African Community and the Southern African Development Corporation, leaders condemned the attacks on the regional peacekeepers.
Joint summit also expressed condolences for the loss of lives in the recent attacks and also wished a speedy recovery to the injured. The joint summit also expressed concern about the escalating crisis manifesting in attacks on diplomatic missions, embassies and staff based in Kinshasa, and urged the government of DRC to protect lives and property. The joint summit recollected that both the EAC and SADC summits had, upon deliberating on the security situation in Eastern DRC, called for a cessation of hostilities and immediate ceasefire, B, restoration of essential utilities and supply lines for food and other essential commodities to ensure humanitarian support, and peaceful resolution of the conflict through the Luanda and Nairobi processes.
Officials from Kenya's United Democratic Alliance Party have commended their counterparts in Uganda's national resistance movement for their strong ideological principles based on patriotism, Pan-Africanism, democracy and socio-economic transformation. The United Democratic Alliance officials, led by the party's Secretary General Hassan Umar, acknowledged that Kenya and Uganda share inseparable ties and should collaborate to ensure the prosperity of both neighboring nations. The UDA officials have spent 1 week in Uganda as part of a benchmarking time and a program.
Kenya's United Democratic Alliance Party officials have concluded their week-long visit to Uganda as part of a benchmarking program. During their stay, which included a meeting with President Museveni, the UDA officials expressed their admiration for the NRM's ideological principles of patriotism, Pan-Africanism, democracy, and socio-economic transformation.
That's why I said we are here. When we were younger, we believed that we needed to have an ideology, then we needed to have an organization, and then we needed to have leadership as the three necessary ingredients for political transformation. Yesterday, and within our interactions at Nali, and now today with the Secretary General, we are clearer how we want to move. We want to tool ourselves with ideological software.
The UDA officials, led by Secretary General Hassan Umar Hassan, acknowledged the close ties between Kenya and Uganda, emphasizing that the two nations are not only united in business, but also through shared values of brotherhood.
It can just not be about material enterprise, about looking at Uganda just as a market and East Africa as a circle. We must look at ourselves as brothers who have a common destiny, that the suffering of Uganda is equal to the suffering of all Kenyans. And for that matter, all of East Africans. So,
both Secretary Generals, NRM's Richard Todong and that of UDA's Hassan Omar Hassan, agreed to collaborate not only in sharing political experiences but also in the socio-economic transformation of their people.
Our genotypes, we are similar to each other. So there is no reason for us to hate to the extent that you want to hate someone until he or she is out of the surface of the earth. And because of that, the conviction we have is that we are brothers and sisters in Africa. And that is why Uganda attracts so many refugees. Because whoever comes to Uganda, we treat him more as a brother or a sister.
That African camaraderie. At these days, when I went to the East African Legislative Assembly, they were bragging that we have border crossings. I said, why do they even need to be there in the first place? But maybe because of our security for the time being. But as we build our economic prosperity, we move progressively towards the East African Federation, these borders must disappear. Common border crossings.
Secretary General Richard Todong of the NRM hosted UDA officials at the party's headquarters in Kampala. He emphasized the importance of peace and security within the East African community to foster development. Todong also advised the UDA officials to remain vigilant against foreign interests and other threats that could undermine the sovereignty of African nations.
The neoliberal forces are coming back. They are pulling Africans either left or right. They are dictating. I don't know whether you feel what we feel in Uganda. That Uganda is like a beautiful village girl that is being admired by every boy in the village. The Americans have come. The Russians are calling for conferences. The Indians are calling for this. The Chinese have come. Who else? The Arabs are coming in. Do you feel that? They are not coming because they love you. They are coming because they see something around you. So how should we as a revolutionary parties act and conceal our population from such damages that might be caused?
Philip Aguta for UBC News in Kampala.
President Yoweri Museveni honored the late Brigadier General Charles Oluka, former Director General of Internal Security Organization, for his exceptional contributions to Uganda's peace and stability in a speech delivered by Vice President Jessica Lupo. The President praised Oluka's leadership, discipline and efficiency. He emphasized that Oluka's death at the peak of his life leaves a great void. The President reassured mourners of the UPDF's continued dedication to Uganda's security.
To the late Brigadier Charles Oluka has concluded here in Kalaki district. The UPDF Guard of Honor, family members and religious leaders escorted the remains of the late former Director General of ISO to his final destination. This was followed by 11 gun salutes in the same spirit of honoring the services of the late General Charles Oluka. Earlier, the mourners, including hundreds of dignitaries, family friends and fellow army officers, delivered eulogies, sharing stories and anecdotes about General Oluka's career, achievements and character.
He was one of the most religious people I've known, always praying, and he has taught us very many good lessons. He was a brother, he was a friend, and somebody who you could trust.
It was wonderful knowing you, working with you, and being your MP.
We had lived a very, very, very happy life with Charles from the time we met. We had unconditional love for one another. There are two things that has built us in that family: love and prayers.
On her part, the Vice President, Jessica Alupo, appreciated the contribution of the UPDF in promoting peace in the country. Alupo narrated how the background check and investigations favored the late Oluka's recommendations to a higher position, as all sources offered a green light to the dedicated UPDF officer.
My report was very easy to compile because a few people who I called were all very happy with the work of Brigadier General Charles Oluka. The next day at 8 o'clock exactly, Your Grace, His Excellency the President rang again. He said, "Did you do the assignment?" I said, "Yes, Your Excellency. Give me the results." And then I gave him the results according to how he had instructed me. That's how I knew Brigadier General Charles Oluka.
Retired Major General Alupo says Oluka was so passionate about his operations.
By the time of his death, he was so passionate about streamlining the electoral commission gadgets. The gadgets, Your Grace, which we are going to use in the next election. And he had persuaded me to convene over 4 meetings over the same.
Alupo represented the President, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who said that the country has lost a true patriot whose leadership has been marked by discipline and good cooperation with the general public.
This shows that he embodied the values of the NRA, UPDF, as a pro-people army. The UPDF is a guarantor of the legitimate interests of all Ugandans.
President asserts that the UPDF is proud of Oluka's legacy, and thus the country celebrates his contribution to the peace and security. President Yoweri Museveni contributed 10 million shillings as condolences to the family.
Therefore, the UPDF is proud of the great legacy of Brigadier General Charles Oluka.
How he achieved this was what some of the mourners shared with the general public.
You are loyal to the Commander-in-Chief, and you ably supported the strategic mission of the UPDF and government of Uganda.
Brigadier General Oluka's commitment to military service and peace leaves a lasting reminder of his legacy and leadership. Since 1987, after being fished from Soroti Flying School, where he was an aircraft engineering instructor, Oluka joined the army and was posted to ISO in the same year under the leadership of the now Minister of Security, Jim Muwezi.
And I worked with him until I left the organization in 1996. I again worked with him from 2021 up to today.
From then, he rose through the ranks to become the Director General of ISO. The family, including widow Akisa Harriet Oluka and children, have been urged to remain united.
There is a tendency of mounting pressure on the children, on the widow. I want to stand here and say, whoever has that thought, withdraw.
The late Oluka died at the age of 57 years from a nearby hospital along Kampala-Entebbe Highway. Daniel Mugoya and Gloria Gwitabinji here at Kalaki District.
President Yoweri Museveni is set to visit the Kigezi sub-region next week as part of his presidential wealth creation tours. The Kigezi Presidential Zonal Skilling Hub in Kabale District is already excited about the visit and looking forward to hosting the president. The center's impact on the local community is evident in the stories of transformed lives. Take a look.
The sounds of excitement and appreciation filled the air as you entered the Kigezi Presidential Zonal Skilling Hub. Established in March 2023 and located in Kamuganguzi sub-county, Kabale district, the hub has attracted enrollees from across the Kigezi sub-region.
The perception about Kigezi Presidential Industrial Hub, if you go to the neighboring communities and the parents of the learners, they have fully embraced it because it has created impact in their families.
The enthusiasm at the center is intense, with many recalling how life before the hub felt like being stuck in a limbo.
Aba instructors bitu abo kwabakoze umurimo gw'amani munonga aho katukije atine kituramanya konka abo bwenge bwabo na rukundo basharamu bacwegesa n'umutima gumwe cyakwata.
The type of learners we have here are not failures. We have those who have never gone to school, but they have passion for learning a certain skill.
Various sections of the hub, such as bakery, carpentry and joinery, have drawn many students who continue to express their gratitude.
Omubyebyo muzeyi atuyambire munonga abo kwikiriza iteka lyeye ningashi pira yeye omuzimwe pira zeza NRM ya social and economic transformation.
So shenkura nyambire naja hano ntafite icyonzi ariko daddies mbashoboye kuzikora na keke ninyikora.
What sets the Kigezi Presidential Zonal Skilling Hub apart is its unique offerings such as tailoring, knitting and salon services.
Abana binja barugira aha bariyo nibakora nibasakora akasente ko kwebisaho nawe hati nakuterese mutwineyo kabatanje kwa nari yakuterese mati madamu bari kunshomesa nakusindikiro ka airtime
and now bakija batina kibaru kumanya konka hatiya buri kimwe cyona nabakimanya begere bags
itonka abana ba hair dressing turi kwija hano yo mu kerasi yitu ya hair dressing tukija atine kituru kumanya konka kutwayikira aha twatandikira aha kusiba buri style yo ne kusiba tukajega
kandi ni nyenda okwebaza munonga president witu owaretira abana bo mugisha kugira ngo batunge cye bari kutunga buti
nabitaba.
The welding section stands out as a beacon of opportunity, creating a new career path for young Ugandans who previously seemed directionless.
Omubyebyo twegere koramo entebeje muri kureba entebeje nitujejunisa okugikozesa nk'ekita mu miringo ebiri nitugikozesa nk'ekitanda kandi tushwe tujejunise kentebe omusingo rooms hamwe no mu business tukoziremo nk'akagara aka kutwejunisa nka hospital bike akutubasa kwejunisa nko nka ambulance ya leta mugwire twa etakweta sibawjenga gumizemo nitubasa kwejunisa twantwara mugwire kumpasinga kumugumizamo.
Classes in construction works and shoemaking have restored hope for many. Individuals who walked in with no skills now live as experts in their fields.
Ikwempo nk'abana ba shoemaking class and sima obuherezo president yatuterireho okutiya omu kyaro okwe kwija hampa tukafuna emyoga.
Class ya bricklaying and concrete practice twegire ebintu byingi munonga nko kwombeka amaju, kwombeka trenches.
The excitement is expected to continue next week as President Museveni commissioned the hub during his wealth creation visit to Kigezi sub-region. Robert Nyango, UBC News.
Special Presidential Assistant Yiga Chisachamkama has criticized the government for failing to take strong action against those implicated in the theft of iron sheets meant for the resettlement of reformed warriors in Karamoja. Over 20 government officials, including ministers, have been implicated in the disappearance of the iron sheets purchased by the government for the resettlement of reformed warriors in Karamoja.
My name is Yiga Chisachamkama. I am appointed as Special President's Assistant for monitoring service delivery. So my concern today is on the lost iron sheets of Karamoja. All Ugandans saw that they arrested ministers over that sheet. Up to now, we don't have a conclusive report. And I'm here to argue with the Prime Minister that these iron sheets lost in your hands, where are they? 10,000 pieces were lost. And the people of Karamoja are there battling with situation. They are poor. These people were affected by the war. So now these other people are enjoying. So I am here hearing people are intimidating Sachamkama. Why are you embarrassing the Prime Minister? You are not God. One day, one time, you also you were poor like Karamoja people. And you are not a Prime Minister by that time. So even another thing I'm accusing the Prime Minister. She was paid for 640 millions when they are constructing Kakumiro Road. And the houses of poor people were demolished, but for house is still working. Now I'm meaning the hotel from Prime Minister. So if the country is landing on intimidation, I am not intimidated. I am ready to bag the head of those police fake people who will come to arrest Chachamkama. You arrest me, but you regret why you came to me. So don't compare me with the four figure. Four figure is just nothing. He's a mad guy. Me, I went to school and I studied in good schools. That's why I've been hiding and not speaking it. Today I've spoken it for God and my country.
The immediate past president of Lions Club International and current chairperson of the Lions Club International Foundation, Dr. Patty Hill, has expressed her delight over the impactful service provided by the Lions Club of Uganda in support of underprivileged communities. Dr. Hill shared these sentiments during a guided tour of the Uganda School for the Deaf, where she witnessed the remarkable renovations of school facilities undertaken by the Lions Club of Uganda.
The immediate past president of the Lions Club International has visited the Uganda School for the Deaf, where she toured newly renovated facilities, including boys and girls dormitories, a kitchen, dining room, and more. Dr. Patty Hill, who also serves as the chairperson of the Lions Club International Foundation, commended the Leos for enhancing schools' facilities, creating a better learning environment for students.
The school, together with its administration, and our Leos and our Lions, supported by a grant from our foundation, have done a refresh and given new life to some of the buildings the children here at the School for the Deaf use and now enjoy. The dormitories have been repainted. The dining hall has a new roof section and new paint. And we know that the children are inspired by their environment.
While addressing the gathering, Dr. Hill encouraged all able-bodied individuals to join the voluntary service organization, stressing the importance of collective efforts in expanding service delivery.
Our Lions clubs here in Uganda are delivering service that has touched the lives of more than 2 million people already in the last 6 months. However, we have nearly 2,100 Lions serving here in Uganda, and we are on a mission to grow. We invite people who care about their community, who want to make a difference, to come and join a Lions Club or to start a Lions Club.
District Governor 411B, Lion Benon Katate, noted that the renovation project was made possible through a grant from Lions Club International underscoring the organization's commitment to community transformation.
And the walls of the dining hall and repainted them fully with a nice coat of paint, but also artistic pictures which can motivate the children to study well, the deaf children to study well, and make the environment of study very, very nice and conducive. We have also repainted very well the boys' dormitory fully, and also put the artistic pictures which create a good learning environment.
The head teacher of the Uganda School for the Deaf, Juliet Mary Tumuhaire, praised the Lions Club of Uganda for their dedicated efforts in improving the school's infrastructure. She emphasized that these renovations would significantly boost school enrollment.
It has reduced on the school expenditure, and I'm sure we are all together going to enjoy the new school, and I know the learners are now encouraged because they have seen the school being alive.
Mary Namkose, UBC News.
The Bamasaba cultural leader, His Royal Highness Jude Mike Mudoma, has urged scientists and medical researchers in the pharmaceutical industry to prioritize indigenous medicines, which according to him have yet to be fully explored and transformed through modern science and technology. Umkuka Mudoma emphasized that if scientists integrate indigenous medicines into the healthcare system, new treatment avenues could be discovered while also preserving the cultural heritage of communities where these medicines originate, thus contributing to the growth of the health sector. We have a detailed report. Take a look.
The Umukoko of the Bamasaba, Jude Mike Mudoma, has stressed the importance of collaboration with relevant authorities in advancing healthcare.
As we officially open the doors to this state-of-the-art medical facility, I strongly encourage our research team in this hospital to take center stage in driving innovation and excellence. Let us foster a culture of inquiry, because this is going to be a one-stop center with this type of facility. This is not only be for treatment, but it should also be a center for carrying out more innovations. Research agenda should be put in place.
Speaking at the grand launch of the state-of-the-art Sea Hospital in Mbale City, where he officiated as the chief guest, Mudoma explained that diseases vary from one region to another, as do traditional treatment.
I implore the team which has brought it should also put another door for research, because, you know, sicknesses differ from place to place. If you are in Igulu, you'll find people with different sicknesses. For us in the mountains, we have different. So it should be also an area for driving innovation and excellence.
Mudoma commended the hospital directors for bringing quality healthcare services closer to the people of Mbale City. He added that indigenous medicine remains an untapped area of investment that once integrated into the healthcare system, it will empower communities and preserve their cultural heritage.
I implore the team here to look at our indigenous medicine as a virgin area of investment. I implore those dealing in the pharmaceutical industry to come and we partner with them. Let us work together and integrate indigenous medicine into the healthcare system.
Meanwhile, the chief executive officer of Sea Hospital stated that the opening of the facility in Mbale City aims to alleviate the burden of long distances traveled and expenses incurred by residents seeking specialized treatment in Kampala and other areas.
It takes a lot of courage to bring this quality of infrastructure in this side of town. So far from Kampala, we want to expand quality healthcare across Uganda.
According to Sudo, the new facility will bridge gaps in the public health sector and provide access to quality healthcare.
We want to expand quality healthcare across Uganda. But this is possible with the trust that was shown to us by the doctors of this region.
The City Health Department praised Sea Hospital for bringing healthcare services closer to Mbale, which will help decongest the existing health facilities. Yiga Muhammad compiled this story.
Lira District has expressed concern over the need to improve performance in the 2025 primary leaving examinations. Recognizing several challenges, the district is tailoring strategies to enhance academic success and provide better support to learners.
In the most recent PLE results, Lira District registered over 3,000 candidates, yet only 59 pupils attained first grade.
The total number of candidates who sat 3,092, we found that 1,461 were female and then 1,631 were males. So that shows again that the completion rate for girls is again still low.
Education Officer Emmanuel Bua says the district is concerned and is rolling out several initiatives to improve performance.
There is the experience we have found that in first term you realize high level of enrollment, in second term the number reduces, then in third term they all pour back to school.
According to statistics, there has been a 7.7% improvement in the latest PLE results.
Is that the Lira District Council has had a lot of discussions. We are taking stringent measures. There are a number of teachers that we have called back to for further mentorship. We are also scaling up supervision.
This concern has resonated with the members of the public who feel deeply impacted by the district's overall performance.
We are one of those districts that have not done well.
Florence Ongina Dupa, who has expressed interest in contesting for Lira District Woman Member of Parliament, rewarded the district's top performing pupils. She says the initiative aims to motivate both learners and parents to prioritize education and work harder to improve academic outcomes.
I have also motivated the parents because the expenses they would have incurred in providing beddings for these children, they will now put it on something else. Hopefully, if I go to Parliament, I can advocate for affirmative action even at lower levels, so that if there is a way, we can probably maybe even subsidize payments for the girl child at primary school level. It will encourage many parents to keep the girls in school.
Statistics indicate that 584 pupils failed completely with the Division U, while only 1,451 girls passed, underscoring a persistent gender gap in completion rates. Furthermore, despite Lira District having 68 schools and over 64,000 pupils enrolled, a recent aid count revealed that only half were present in school. Eddie Ulwa, UBC News.
Over 1,000 vulnerable children in the Bunyoro sub-region have received educational support from the Bunyoro Neediest Children Education Development Association. The support includes bursaries for formal education and vocational training.
Bunyoro Neediest Children Education Development Association Coordinator Francis Sebanji says since securing donor support, the organization has helped over 1,000 orphans, persons with disabilities, and other vulnerable children to complete various levels of education, from primary to university. This was during an evaluation meeting at St. Jude, Mambugu Catholic Sub-Parish in Kagadi District, Buncheda. Buncheda chairperson Stephen Rukaijakare emphasized that the association supports students from diverse backgrounds regardless of tribe or religion. Beneficiaries are enrolled in institutions across multiple districts, including Hoima, Chikube, Masindi, Chibale, Kagadi, and Kampala. However, he noted that more support is needed to sustain the program.
Come and answer well wishes so that school, because there are some construction which are going ahead, so we need to make more expansion so that we can take very many students there, and even the UNEP center needs expansion.
Many students and parents expressed gratitude for Buncheda's role in securing sponsorships and enabling education.
Bunyoro Neediest Children
Education Development Association has helped me to pay for my school fees when I was in senior 2021.
Founded in 2000 by 4 individuals, the association initially enrolled 10 vulnerable children from Kigezi district.
Promise that when I reach home, I will make sure that I train more people on the skills I've obtained.
The Swiss and Dutch-funded initiative has since expanded its impact across Bunyoro and central Uganda. Musinguzi Andrew, Kawanguzi Paul, UBC.
Educationists in Uganda have expressed their appreciation for the government's efforts to improve the education sector. However, they have called on the government to increase the salaries of arts teachers to further strengthen the implementation of the new curriculum. The educationists, along with the head teacher of Wakatai, SSS Haji Abubakar Kawiye, commended the government for its significant progress in raising teachers' salaries, and they now argue and urge for similar adjustments for arts teachers.
The introduction of the new curriculum, Skilling Uganda, and the promotion of science education are key government initiatives for the continued growth of the education sector. However, to effectively support the new curriculum, especially in the arts, educationists have encouraged stakeholders to consider improving the salaries of arts teachers in the same way that science teachers have benefited.
Science teachers to our science head teachers, and we are humbly waiting and looking forward to the enhancement of the salaries for the arts teachers and we, the arts head teachers. We thank you so much, the Government of Uganda. We thank you, Mama, for the various programs introduced that are supporting the promotion of quality education.
Addressing a press conference to celebrate the school's 40th anniversary, Haj Kawiye highlighted the school's achievements over the past 5 years under the new curriculum.
We are fully implementing the academic and the government programs in the school. The most recent with the competence-based curriculum, which is being run effectively. We want to say that we competently participated and we hope for very good results for the inaugural group that has written the UCE 2024. We expect very good results.
Despite facing challenges, he emphasized significant progress, including the training of students in areas such as fabrication, plumbing, poultry, and agriculture. The school has also cultivated over 5 acres of eucalyptus trees, among other notable projects.
We are doing well in terms of the curriculum. We have vocational activities going on. Though we are not yet registered DIT, but we are doing a DIT programs in the school. We have plumbing. Our students are exposed to plumbing activities. We are exposed to metal fabrication. We are exposed to construction bricklaying. We are exposed to agriculture, animal keeping and bird keeping, and so forth. Our teachers and students are well grounded and well disciplined to help you achieve your expectations.
Haj Kawiye also praised the government for its continuous support, particularly from the State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. Jesse Muyingo, which has enabled the school to provide students with a brighter future. The founders, alumni, and local communities in Wakatai and nearby areas have also expressed their gratitude to the late Haj Sowedi Kakumi, who donated the land and founded the school, providing education not only to Muslims but students from diverse religious backgrounds.
More good because it has given us the opportunity to also introduce our abilities, our experiences. Yeah, like this one of metal and whatever. Okay. So we are ready to celebrate the 40 years of Wakatai Senior Secondary School.
In this new curriculum, we can make our table, as you are seeing here,
I also applaud the Minister of Education, especially under Honorable Dr. Jesse Muyinga. Last year, he managed to lobby for this school a laboratory building with all equipments. That's very good, and we thank the government of Uganda under President Yoweri Museveni for all those achievements.
Wakatai Senior Secondary School is a government-aided school in Zirobye Bamunanika, Luwero district, which was established in 1985 and will celebrate its 40th anniversary on February 22, 2025 at the school. Salongo Kasibante compiled the story.
Looking for instant excitement? The Uganda National Lottery Spin for Cash game is now available online. Wherever you are, you can join the excitement for just 500, 1,000 and 2,000 Uganda shillings. Don't miss out. Register now on www.nationallottery.go.ug for a chance to win your share of 2 billion instantly. What are you waiting for? Play Spin for Cash now, anytime, anywhere. Ituba is the proud operator of the Uganda National Lottery.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Government of Uganda presents Post Buses in Uganda, operated by Posta Uganda. We specialize in professional transport, courier and vehicle hire services across Uganda. Our routes include Kampala Masaka Mbarara Kabale Chisoro, Kampala Mukono Jinja Mbale via Tirinyi Road Soroti Lira, and Kampala Luwero Kamudini Gulu Kitgum. Our main offices are located at the Post Office Head Office on Kampala Road, with booking services available at counters 23 and 24 at the General Post Office. You can also book at designated district post offices along our routes. For inquiries or bookings, please contact us on 0751 684 184. Posta Uganda. We deliver trust. Step into a world of excellence, comfort and pride with Royal Foam Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels, and many others for home comfort. With every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Foam Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Jinja Road, Chambogo Junction, Bukota Chisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
Oh, Mama Nat. How are you? I'm okay.
Here are your bananas.
Are they good?
Very, very good. But you are always buying bananas. Have you updated yourself like you update your stomach?
Hey. Mama Nat.
Look at this.
My balance.
My balance. Mama Nat to give you the balance. That is a criminal.
You can register as a voter or check.
Rokia, did you hear?
What?
Vote update is happening. If you don't register, who will vote for your honorable? Rastad.
Zara, did you send that report?
I forwarded your email this morning. Peter, can you imagine? I just verified my voter's details online. I just verified my voter's details online, and it's as easy as sending a WhatsApp message.
Really? Online?
Yes.
Show me.
Uganda, your vote is your voice, and every voice matters. From 20th January to 10th February 2025, you can register as a voter or check to update your voter details. Visit our update center within your parish. Call 0800-200-071 or visit www.ec.or.ug today. This message is brought to you by the Electoral Commission of Uganda.
Welcome back to UBC News Tonight. From the business desk, wildlife authorities are urging citizens who wish to establish private sanctuaries and zoos to follow the correct procedures and meet all the necessary requirements. This message was delivered by Dr. Rachel Mbabazi, a veterinary doctor at the Uganda Wildlife Authority and the Uganda Wildlife Education Center, who is responsible for wildlife care. She spoke at the Isaac Wildlife Farm and Ranch in Busikiri Village, Wakiso, founded by Haj Isaac Mulindwa Makinawa, a passionate wildlife enthusiast. During her visit, Dr. Mbabazi delivered 20 impalas to the farm, and we have a detailed report on this beautiful wildlife story.
Wildlife conservation is the practice of protecting wild animals and their habitats to ensure the health of wildlife population and restore natural ecosystems. While many people are fearful of wild animals due to their nature, Haji Isaac Mulindwa Makinawa has a different perspective.
Ministry of Animal and the animals should put more efforts to control those poachers.
He dreamed of establishing a private zoo, Isaac Wildlife Farm and Ranch, located in Busikiri Village, Wakiso District. Before being granted a certificate of operation from wildlife regulatory authorities, Haji Mulindwa had to meet specific requirements.
Uganda Wildlife Authority awards people if you want to hold wildlife as a private person, you can get a user right. And Mr. Mulindwa got a user right. And
to ensure these requirements were met, Dr. Rachel Mbabazi, a veterinary doctor specializing in wildlife at the Uganda Wildlife Authority, delivered 20 impalas to the farm. This addition complements the zebras, antelopes and bushbucks already housed there. According to Dr. Mbabazi, individuals who wish to own a private zoo like Haji Isaac Makinawa must meet certain criteria set by the relevant authorities.
I think you apply for user right, but of course wildlife is not like any animal. It's not easy to manage, so you'll give what is your management plan, what will be your source of income before you are granted that user right. And of course there's always a fee that you pay as before you're granted the user right, but even picking the animals, for each animal that you get, you pay a particular kind of money. So it shows seriousness. If someone pays that money, so most likely they are able to take care of the wildlife and hold it. You must have a place you can hold it that is safe, so that it can't go out and maybe into the community.
Haji Isaac Mulindwa Makinawa shared the inspiration behind his venture into wildlife conservation and explained that his private zoo is meant to serve as a study center in addition to its other purposes.
For the first time I was having cows here, several of them. More than 500 Frisian here. But unfortunately, they have so many problems, diseases, and the drugs which are being imported in the country, they are fake drugs. They have no control of the drugs. Whenever you buy a drug for tick disease, it's not effective, so the cows used to die. And I said, no, let me change. Then I diverted myself into a wild animal.
However, he did face challenges, particularly in securing user rights for his sanctuary.
Oh, it is not easy. You have to go, first of all, you have to go to WHO and apply. And it takes time, because they need ABCD, feasibility study, evaluation report, what have you, everything they need that one, and it takes years. Secondly, they can't allow you to bring even a small animal here without having a permission from NEMA. NEMA is the most difficult organization, they are very straightforward. You can't, do something to them to do what you want. No. They need environmental assessment. They need soil test. They need a water test. Everything documented.
I'm Ivan Juko for UBC.
From the sports world, people with disabilities gathered at Caring Heart Victory Church in Kagulamende to celebrate the annual Night to Shine event. Now, the event led by former American basketball player Tim Tebow aims to uplift and honor people with disabilities. The celebration was graced by the State Minister for Lands, Dr. Sam Mayanja, who served as the chief guest. A former Wakiso District Chairman, Ian Cheyune, and other dignitaries also attended.
Despite the joyous occasion, several attendees expressed frustration over continued discrimination. Shaul Narwada, Full Stop, and other individuals born with disabilities spoke about the challenges they face.
It has been so blessed to us, ladies and gentlemen. We have been enjoying. It has been a day organized for people with disabilities here at this church, ladies and gentlemen. So, to all parents, if you know that you have a child who is having any disability, don't ignore that child out. Instead, bring him to the public. They will have solutions, the public, and they will have to enjoy with him or her, ladies and gentlemen. As people with disabilities, most of the times, people despise us, people segregate us, people take us as if we don't have any use, or we are just public nuisance, but which was not planned by us.
Challenge that we have mostly, we people with disabilities in the community, there is stigma amongst ourselves. Actually, we even have people who have not come here because they fear, like, how will people say, what are they going to talk about it?
The Uganda Bureau of Statistics estimated in 2024 that 5.7% of the population lives with disabilities. However, the Uganda Functional Difficulties Survey warns that this figure could rise to 16.5% due to accidents and other factors. Pastor Paul Musisi and Pastor Olivia Musisi, the organizers of the event, emphasized the need for inclusivity. They highlighted the purpose of Night to Shine as fostering faith, hope, and love for people with disabilities.
He's in the image of God. Tall like him, all blind like him. We are all in the image of God. And God loves us as we are. So what is the purpose of this event? To give hope, faith, and love to the people.
We have what we call Night to Shine. It is an international event we do with Tim Tebow Foundation from USA. Tim Tebow was a baseball player in US. So we partnered together to help the people with disability, people with special needs. So we encourage them to study, to have a career in life, not to be miserable, not to lose hope.
Engineer Ian Cheyune lamented the lack of accessibility in public buildings, stating it's unacceptable that we still construct facilities that exclude people with disabilities.
To find that there are some of our buildings which are still being constructed without an opportunity for people with disabilities, especially those in wheelchairs, to walk in or to go into those buildings. And some of these buildings are multi-storied.
The Minister of State for Lands, Dr. Sam Mayanja, commended the organizers for their dedication to the cause. He pledged to advocate for the rights of people with disabilities, particularly regarding land ownership.
Oba organization yali etegese ekintu nga kino abantu bonna ab'obulemi we bajjira ne bajja tikatujje tubukebuke tusanyukire wamu. Pastor Musisi yakikoze wano mu caring church. Nolwekyo wano kwe kumusiima n'ensiima n'abo bakola nabo. Constitution Article 26 sub-Article 1 guarantees security of property to every Ugandan, and that article must be read with the other article which brings these people with disabled or whatever is not called normal, that those people have the same rights as any other Ugandan. Therefore, Article 26 sub-article protects them.
More than 300 individuals with disabilities were gifted basic necessities during the celebration. The event was filled with joy, love, and music, leaving the attendees feeling valued and inspired.
That's all we had for you tonight. Thank you so much for being a part of this beautiful bulletin. My name is Sharon Chomjishan. Have a good night. Bye-bye.